Here, in its natural habitat, we observe a rare and devastating creature, the fresh Oleh, mid-bureaucracy. Note the glazed expression, the death grip on a manila folder, the quiet, simmering rage of someone who has been holding ticket number 187 for 4 hours and has just been told they're in the wrong building. This individual has been in Israel for 72 hours. They have visited 3 government offices. They have cried in 2 of them. They will cry in the 3rd one tomorrow. Hi. I'm not crying. I'm not lost. I'm not holding a ticket for a queue that hasn't moved since the Second Intifada. You want to know my secret? I outsourced my suffering. Every Aliyah story you've ever seen online goes like this: meaningful, spiritual, beautiful. There's usually a violin. This is the sequel nobody posts on Instagram. Here's what actually happens when you make Aliyah. And I say this with love, deep, profound, Zionist love. The bureaucracy will test your faith in ways that 40 years in the desert never could. You start with the Jewish agency. They need documents. Fine. You gather your birth certificate, your parents' marriage certificate, a letter from your rabbi, proof of Jewish heritage, which, depending on your family, is either a straightforward process or an archaeological excavation through your grandmother's closet in Boca Raton. You submit everything. You wait. You receive an email that says, and I'm quoting loosely, "We need one more thing." That one thing requires a notary, a translator, an apostle, and a small prayer. You provide it. You wait again. You receive another email. Different agency this time. They also need one more thing, but it's a different thing, and it contradicts what the first agency asked for. At this point, the average person is 3 months in, emotionally compromised, and Googling, "Can you unmake Aliyah?" Okay. Deep breath. Let me introduce you to the people who make this not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, weighing in with a combined total of 400 government forms and 0 patients left, the Israeli bureaucracy, and in this corner, lean, mean, and armed with connections at every government office in the country. Easy. Aliyah. Okay, but seriously. Easy Aliyah is a private Aliyah Concierge service, and the word concierge is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. This isn't someone who sends you a PDF and says, "Good luck." This is a full-service, end-to-end, we will literally hold your hand in a government office operation. They handle your documents. They submit your application. They liaise with the Jewish agency, Nefesh B'Nefesh, the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Aliyah, all the ministries. If Israel has a ministry, Easy Aliyah has its phone number, its fax number, and probably the personal mobile of the guy who actually makes decisions. And they do it fast. We're talking weeks. The same process that takes most people 6 months to a year? Weeks. I've had Amazon deliveries that took longer. I've had arguments with my internet provider that took longer. I once waited longer for a table at a restaurant in Tel Aviv. And when I finally sat down, they told me the kitchen was closed. The company is run by Adam Kushner, a man who, based on everything I've read and heard, does not sleep, does not rest, and does not accept the concept of impossible. Client reviews describe him picking up documents from one city and hand-delivering them to another, accompanying clients to appointments during active military conflicts, stocking fridges, stocking, fridges. He puts food in your refrigerator before you arrive, so that when you walk into your new apartment, broken and jet-lagged and questioning every decision you've ever made, you open the fridge and there is sustenance, there is hope, there is cheese. I want to be very clear. This man is providing a level of care that most of us don't receive from our own families. My mother once forgot to pick me up from summer camp. Adam Kushner is stocking strangers' refrigerators. We are not the same. All right, let's get into what Easy Aliyah actually does, step by step, starting with the part that kills most applications, the paperwork. You see this? This is a birth certificate that was translated but not notarized. It's been submitted to the Jewish agency, where it will sit in a pile for 3 weeks before someone notices it's missing the apostille, sends it back, and the applicant has to start from scratch. This document has a terminal diagnosis. It's not going to make it. Easy Aliyah prevents document fatalities. They build you a personalized checklist, not a generic one-size-fits-all PDF, but a custom list based on your country, your family situation, your specific circumstances. Then they review every single document, multiple times. They check the translations, they check the notarizations, they check the apostilles, they check that the apostilles are for the right country, they check that the dates match, they check things you didn't know needed checking. It's like having a forensic accountant for your paperwork, except instead of finding fraud, they're finding the one typo that would have delayed your Aliyah by 4 months. Once your documents are bulletproof, they submit everything, and then, this is key, they actually track it. They follow up, they call, they email, they show up. The average Aliyah application enters the system and enters a black hole. Easy Aliyah applications enter the system and have a chaperone. Got a complicated case? Jewish status being questioned? Conversion not recognized? Documents that were lost, destroyed, or trapped in the filing system of a country that technically doesn't exist anymore? Easy Aliyah has a team of Israeli immigration lawyers who specialize in exactly this. Appeals, hearings, administrative court. They will fight for your right to become Israeli with the tenacity of someone arguing about parking in Ramat Gan. While your application is processing, they help you plan the actual move. Neighborhood guidance, and not just Tel Aviv is nice. Detailed recommendations based on your lifestyle, your budget, whether you need English-speaking neighbors, or you're ready to go full Hebrew immersion. School enrollment for kids, shipping logistics, pet transport, because apparently you can't just put a cat in a carry-on and hope for the best. I asked. The average new Oleh has approximately 6 minutes of pure joy before the bureaucracy resumes. Some get as many as 8. It depends on how fast you walk through the terminal. Here's what you need to do in your first few weeks in Israel. Ready? I hope you're sitting down. Actually, I hope you're lying down, with a cold compress. Todat Zehut, that's your Israeli ID, at the Ministry of Interior. Health Fund registration. And you will have an opinion about which Kupat Cholim is best within approximately 48 hours of landing, because everyone you meet will have a very strong opinion, and they will share it with you. Whether or not, you asked. Bank account, national insurance, biometric ID, driving license conversion, which is its own special kind of humiliation. Arnona registration. Each of these requires an appointment. Each appointment requires documents. Each document requires a photocopy that nobody told you about until you were standing at the counter. Each office has different hours, different requirements, and a different definition of the word appointment. You have an appointment? Yes, I see it here. But this office doesn't do that on Tuesdays. We do that on Thursdays. Come back Thursday. Bring Form 106. No, not that 106. The other 106. Easy Aliyah walks you through every single one of these. In person, physically present, standing next to you, translating, explaining, gently preventing you from saying something you'll regret to the clerk who just told you to come back for the 4th time. They know which offices are faster on which days. They know which clerks are helpful and which ones are going through something. They know the system, not the way it's supposed to work on paper, but the way it actually works in practice, which are 2 completely different things that exist in 2 completely different universes. I already mentioned the fridge thing, but I need to come back to it because I can't let it go. You arrive at your apartment. You are destroyed. Your body clock thinks it's 3 a.m. Your children are feral. You have eaten nothing but airplane food and anxiety for the past 20 hours. You open the refrigerator. There is milk. There is bread. There are vegetables. Someone who is not your mother and has no legal obligation to care about your well-being has gone to a supermarket, purchased groceries, and arranged them neatly in your refrigerator. I'm not going to say it's the most beautiful thing that's ever happened in the history of human civilization, but I'm also not going to say it's not. Aliyah's real estate team helps with the apartment hunt, which, in Israel, is less of a search and more of a combat sport. Apartments get listed and rented within hours. Landlords ask for deposits the size of a small car. Lease agreements contain clauses that would make a corporate lawyer nervous. Aliyah finds you options, takes you to viewings, has their legal team review every contract, and negotiates on your behalf. For buyers, they connect you with mortgage brokers, lawyers, and banks. For renters, they make sure you don't sign something that secretly obligates you to repaint the apartment in a color that doesn't exist. Then there's everything else: electricity, water, gas, internet, phone. Arnona. That's the municipal tax that you didn't know existed until it arrived as a bill written entirely in Hebrew, with a payment deadline that was apparently yesterday. Parking permits, credit cards, standing orders. Aliyah handles it all. And this is the one that sneaks up on people. Israeli work culture is different. Contracts work differently. Notice periods work differently. Something called pitsuim, severance pay, is a whole universe of rules that you need to understand before you start working. Aliyah explains all of it: freelance versus salaried, how to open a business file, V8, income tax, pensions. They basically prevent you from accidentally becoming the subject of an investigation by the Israeli tax authority in your first quarter as a citizen, which is a thing that can happen. Ask me how I know. Actually, don't. She walked into my office on a Tuesday. Said she needed to make Aliyah in 2 weeks. Said her documents were a mess. Said the Jewish agency had questions. Said her conversion rabbi had moved to Thailand. I told her I couldn't help her, but I knew someone who could. Okay, dramatic reenactment aside, Aliyah handles cases that would make most people give up. You're not just moving yourself. You might be moving 4, 5, 6 people, each with their own document trail, medical clearances, and school requirements. If one of your kids has special needs, now you're also navigating the Israeli educational support system, healthcare referrals, and specialist services in a country you just arrived in. Aliyah coordinates the entire thing: every family member, every document, every school meeting, every specialist. They're like air traffic control for your family, except instead of planes, it's birth certificates and vaccination records. Making Aliyah at 70 is brave and beautiful, and also logistically terrifying. Aliyah provides white glove support. And when I say white glove, I mean they will quite literally hold your hand through every step if that's what you need. No judgment, no impatience. Just calm, professional. We've done this 1,000 times and you're going to be fine energy. Your Aliyah was rejected? You're devastated. You think it's over. It's not over. Aliyah's legal team does appeals the way other people do crossword puzzles, with focus, determination, and a refusal to accept that there isn't a solution. They gather additional evidence, consult with rabbinical authorities, work with community leaders, and if they need to, they go to court. Actual court. For you. A person they met maybe 3 months ago. That's commitment. Job offer that starts in 2 weeks? Safety concern? Family emergency? Aliyah has done full Aliyah applications in 10 days. Let me put that in perspective. 10 days ago, I was wearing the same socks. These people relocated a human being to a different continent. I think we can all agree on who's winning at life. For the person who wants the absolute maximum, the full, I don't want to think about a single thing, just move me to Israel and make it beautiful experience, there's the VIP Concierge Plus real estate service. This is the all-inclusive resort of Aliyah packages. Immigration, documents, legal, appointments, and a dedicated real estate operation, all under one roof, all coordinated, all talking to each other. Unlike, I must emphasize, the actual government agencies, which communicate primarily through vibes and occasionally through facts. Their real estate team learns everything about you. Budget, lifestyle. Whether you need to be near a beach or near a shoal or near a really good coffee shop, which in Israel is every 4 meters, so that one's easy. They match you with neighborhoods, show you properties, negotiate your lease, and have lawyers review everything before you sign. Ra'anana for the Anglo bubble. Netanya for the sea views and the slightly less insane rent. Tel Aviv for people who think paying 50 shekels for avocado toast is a reasonable life choice. Modi'in for families who want new and planned and are willing to admit it. Jerusalem for people who thrive on beautiful chaos and 3,000-year-old arguments. Whatever you want, they find it. They vet it. They make it happen. You just show up and start living. Hi, Easy Aliyah. Yeah, I got a letter from the area. It's in Hebrew. It has a number on it. The number is large. Should I be scared? This is the kind of call Easy Aliyah takes 6 months, 12 months, years after your Aliyah. They don't disappear. They don't say, our job is done here, and ride off into the Negev. They stick around, because they know that you're going to get a confusing letter, or a weird charge, or a landlord issue, or a tax question, and when that happens, you need someone who can translate not just the Hebrew, but the Israel. And if you want to mentally prepare for Israeli life before you even start the process, check out their Aliyah Chill series. It's like a survival guide wrapped in comedy, wrapped in brutal honesty. Topics include why everything costs more than you think, why your apartment will be smaller than your previous bathroom, and why Israeli customer service operates on principles that physicists are still trying to understand. Making Aliyah is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever do. It's coming home. It's fulfilling something ancient and meaningful and deeply personal. It's also an absolute logistical circus, and pretending otherwise doesn't help anyone. Easy Aliyah exists for the people who want the beauty without the breakdown, the homecoming without the headache, the Aliyah without the all that. Go to easyaliyah.com. Talk to them. Let them do what they're terrifyingly good at, so you can focus on the part that actually matters, building your life in Israel. Link in the description. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Tell your friends. Tell your parents. Tell that one cousin who's been thinking about it for 11 years. It's time.